Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be looking at the Motor City Paddle Club.
Oh.
And more specifically, we're going to be diving into their approach to selling merchandise.
Oh, interesting.
So we've got their Redbubble shop pulled up here.
Okay.
Um, think like an Etsy, but with a broader reach
Yeah.
and even more custom designs and stuff like that.
Right.
Should be pretty interesting to see what we can learn about a business just by looking at their merch.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how merchandise can be so much more than just like generating some extra revenue.
Right.
It can really be a window into their goals and the kind of community they're building.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So for anyone who hasn't had the pleasure, the Motor City Paddle Club
Okay.
is the brainchild of Jason Berenstein,
Oh.
based in Michigan, of course.
Makes sense.
And they rent out kayaks, paddle boards. They even have those cool go boats.
Oh, yeah.
But looking at their Redbubble shop,
Eh.
it seems that they're not content with just being a rental outfit.
Right. You can almost feel them trying to create a brand, a lifestyle even.
Yeah.
And that becomes even more apparent when you see that their entire shop is decked out for a Cyber Week sale.
Oh, wow.
Up to 60% off.
Now, that's some savvy marketing.
Yeah.
It's not exactly peak paddling season in Michigan right now,
Right.
but they're definitely tapping into that holiday shopping energy.
Oh, for sure.
It's really interesting, too. They've even got their merch organized into very specific collections,
Mm-hmm.
kayaking, canoeing, and stand-up paddleboarding.
Mm.
I wonder what the thinking was behind separating them like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And strategically, it's a smart move.
Yeah.
By catering to these very distinct water sport categories, they broaden their potential customer base considerably.
Right.
It speaks to a desire to build a more diverse community, not just like a niche group of, kayakers.
For sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's actually get into the designs themselves.
Okay.
I think this is where things get really revealing. What jumps out at you?
Well, you can't miss the Michigan pride woven throughout all of it.
Uh-huh.
You've got stickers like paddle hard, Michigan cold, proclaiming to kayak like a Michigander.
Oh, yeah.
That strong local focus is really interesting, especially for an online shop that has, potentially a national audience.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like they're banking on that local pride to resonate even outside of Michigan.
Yeah.
Maybe even spark some curiosity in those who've never even been there.
Right.
Almost like a wish you were here vibe
Exactly.
for paddling.
And it plays into that desire for community that we were talking about before. It's
Yeah.
like they're creating a club within a club, an exclusive group for those in the know
Yeah.
about Michigan paddling.
Okay, but it's not all serious paddling business.
Right.
They've got a good dose of humor in there, too.
For sure.
Things like, can you believe how awesome this shirt is? Or the SUP happens sticker.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I chuckled at a few of these.
It's a great way to inject some personality and approachability into the brand. Those lighthearted designs really make it clear that paddling isn't just for like hardcore enthusiasts.
Right.
It's for anyone who wants to have a good time on the water.
Exactly. And then you've got this whole other category of designs that take a more,
Yeah.
I don't know, philosophical approach almost.
Uh-huh.
Things like born to paddle, forced to work.
Right.
Or, life is simple, just add water.
Yeah.
These aren't really about paddling. They're about a whole lifestyle.
That's a fantastic observation. It speaks to this deeper connection with nature, a sense of freedom, and even the therapeutic benefits of being out on the water.
For sure.
They're tapping into a certain mindset and set of values that go way beyond the sport itself.
I'm really starting to see how much thought they've put into this.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just slapping a logo on a t-shirt.
Right.
It's about curating a feeling.
Totally.
Speaking of logos, I noticed that their own Motor City Paddle Club logo features very prominently on a lot of their stickers.
Yeah.
What do you think the thinking is behind that?
That's classic branding strategy in action. Stickers are basically mini billboards,
Oh, I
and
know.
when people slap those on their water bottles or their laptops, they're spreading the Motor City Paddle Club name organically.
Interesting. It's like turning your customers into brand ambassadors.
Exactly.
And who doesn't love free advertising?
Right?
Yeah. But this brings up a bigger question for me. Wouldn't that strong Michigan focus potentially alienate customers from other states?
Oh, that's a great point. It is a risk they're taking.
I mean, not everyone can relate to paddle hard Michigan cold, right?
True, but I think it goes back to that idea of building a very specific community.
Okay.
By focusing so specifically on Michigan, they create a sense of exclusivity.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
an inside joke that
Yeah.
only Michiganders are in on.
So it's less about attracting everyone and more about attracting the right people. the ones
Yeah.
who really connect with that Michigan pride.
Exactly. And it might even make the merchandise more appealing to those outside of Michigan,
Hmm.
almost like a souvenir or a way to connect with a place that they admire.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way, but that's a really good point. It's
Yeah,
like they're banking on the power of niche appeal.
totally.
But speaking of appealing to a specific audience,
Hmm.
what do you make of those designs that focus on the lifestyle aspect of paddling?
Those are really tapping into a much broader cultural trend.
Hmm.
You know, this idea of slowing down, connecting with nature, and prioritizing well-being.
Right.
It's not just about the activity itself, it's about the values and the emotions associated with it.
So they're not just selling a product, they're selling a feeling, an
Exactly.
aspiration even.
It's like they're saying, if you buy this shirt, you're not just a paddler, you're someone who embraces this way of life.
Yeah, and that can be really powerful.
Right. Think about brands like Patagonia or REI.
Oh, yeah.
They've built entire businesses around selling a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it seems like Motor City Paddle Club is trying to tap into that same vein,
Yeah,
but on a smaller, more local scale.
for sure.
It's making me rethink the way I look at merchandise.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a way to make a quick buck.
Right.
It can be this strategic tool for building brand identity and connecting with your audience
Yeah.
on a much deeper level.
Absolutely. It's like storytelling,
Oh, yeah.
but with t-shirts and stickers.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And it's a story that anyone can tell,
Mm.
no matter how big or small their business is.
Totally. Even a local coffee shop could create merchandise that tells a story
Oh, that's a cool idea.
about their neighborhood or the community that they serve.
What if they had mugs
Yeah.
with local landmarks or designs
Oh, yes.
inspired by, neighborhood inside jokes?
Right. It'd be a way for people to show their local pride
Yeah,
and feel like they're part of something special.
exactly. And it would create a much more meaningful connection
Sure.
than just a mug with the coffee shop's logo on it.
Right.
This has been really eye-opening.
Mhm.
So what does all of this mean for our listener,
Hmm.
the one who's taking this deep dives with us?
Mm-hmm.
What's the big takeaway here?
I think the biggest takeaway is that merchandise has the potential to be so much more than just a way to make extra money.
Yeah.
It can be a powerful tool for building brand identity, fostering community, and communicating your values to the world.
Right.
It's about thinking beyond the product and crafting a narrative that really resonates with your audience.
So if you're a business owner, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what story am I telling with my merchandise?
Yeah.
What kind of community am I building?
And if you're a consumer, pay attention to the stories that brands are telling through their merchandise.
Mhm.
It might just reveal more about them than you ever realized.
This has been a fascinating dive.
It has.
I'm already starting to look at merchandise in a whole new light.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can learn when you start paying attention to the details.
Well said. Speaking of details, we'd love to hear from you, our listener.
Yes.
What are some of the most creative or memorable pieces of merchandise you've come across?
Share your discoveries with us.
Yeah.
You might just inspire our next deep dive.
And hey, if this deep dive has sparked some ideas for your own business, or maybe you're just looking at merch differently now, we'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely. What are some of the coolest, most creative, or just plain memorable pieces of merch that you've come across?
Tell us about it.
Share your discoveries with us.
You might just inspire our next deep dive. Until then, happy paddling, everyone.